I'm going to try to explain what a journey with the angels, or from the beginning to deeper in knowledge and the stages you are going through. And it usually starts with a searching for a meaning in life, or God, or a true felt heart need. There are also other circumstances, like when you experience death or loss, or a friend of multiple, or that you go through and get an acute severe illness, or somebody else close to you gets one. And then we have terror and dangerous situations that can trigger a very strong beginning, since you're crying out from your heart there. And it's desperation, and angels answer to that. And that leads to a first beginning when you feel the first instance of comfort, or you start to find and see meaning in life. And that is a very beautiful thing to experience when you start to feel, even if you live in poverty or have nothing, and yet you might start to see that there is something beautiful or magical about that flower or that tree, or you just look into a water puddle and there is oil in it, and you start to see that the oil gives you, it looks like a miniature rainbow when the sunlight or moonlight gets into it, and that kind of thing. So these are tiny examples, but there are so many ways. And once you start to find meaning or feeling comfort, you often start to study and some kind of practice. It can be praying, or trying to connect to the angels and buying books and so on, or just learning, asking others. And sometimes when you get your hands into these quick self-help books, it ask the angels and they give you everything you need, kind of thing. And they talk about the magic and how you call on these angels and you will get successful in life and it will go so smoothly and everything like that. And if you have a success, and it can be according to what was meant to happen anyhow in many ways, then you have the moral questions, or you suffer from delusions. And these things are meant to happen to teach you a thing. You might have an uncle who likes you, who has money, who gave you a CV or asked somebody to give you a good job and that kind of thing. It might not be spiritual at all. But people who are delusional and wants to become and have certain things in their life, they start to give everything that they are so connected, and everything comes from the angels and they are good. So that is quite a common stage for many, sadly. And when you suffer from either moral questions or delusions, you need to keep on calling the angels daily, since they teach you and guide you. And since angels can't interfere with your free will, they are not allowed. That's why you need to keep on practicing and finding your free will and knowing that you're making a choice. And by understanding the deeper levels of your heart and soul, you're going to be more and more able to call on the angels with truth in your heart. And that truth changes every year. There is a slight difference for your true free will. So with angels, it isn't like with demons. I want to get rich and I want to get wealthy and I want to have fame. It isn't like that with the angels. You are growing and starting to understand from the different point of view, and also your free will change with tiny, tiny bits. The core is there, but you adjust it, if we say it like that. And that is when you just keep on practicing and you include prayer, meditation and deeper studies. And that's usually when there starts to become that longing in your heart to do so. And that is to practice really long callings and rituals, since you want to experience the difference and things like that. And you also start to feel that in your heart that you want to deepen the connection. And many times you are calling on the 22, the 42, the 72 letter names of God, all archangels, other angels, the virtues, choirs, and so on, and thrones, and other. And then we have the things that will come as a teaching, and they need to happen in some ways. I can call it the first stop. You are going to experience some stops. Not everybody experiences the deep dark nights of the soul or the crossing the abyss that I constantly fall into. But I had a very strong willpower and bad temper that I tried to, so I needed to really go through there too, so that my willpower didn't cross God's will. And to really learn that lesson, I had to repeat that until I started. And every time you get a stop, then you heal, and then you get the next stop, and then you heal on a deeper level. So it is like other persons go to therapists or have psychology, and they sit there for years, and when you work with the angels are your therapist, and so on. So it's a little bit different. And that is the first test of faith, or if you are capable of going forward. And you should know, if you want to go further than this point, beyond imagination, or that being with others who work with angels and just dipping your foot in it a little bit, or toes, that you need to keep on going here. And that's when you start to really receive the healing and the forgiveness, and also deeper understanding. And once you get through that point, then you start to receive spiritual clarity, and you start to develop magic and psychic powers on a deeper level. In the beginning, you need often others' help, or you use their spirits, or in many occult groups, or in New Age settings and everything, they have a spirit guide, or they have an egregore, they have something there. But it isn't you. That is something they use to draw you in, that you can use and have access to, so that you believe that you're higher up than you are, and to keep you in as well. And then we have the second stop, and here we have even dark nights of the soul. Doubts, or am I on the right path? Do I have the right religion? Do I practice faith? What do I do? Am I worthy? Am I not worthy? And these kind of things. And the terrors of the night, which are much worse than the dark night of the soul. And that goes for only some. So it is very different on who you are as a person. How much of you must be changed for you to go up higher. And that is when the true healing comes. And also, the terrors of the night is when you feel that you have lost God. Since you keep on calling him, you might be praying to him every day. You call on the angels, and yet you have felt so close to him at some times, and then he disappears. And that is the growing pains, just like when I grew 10 centimeters in a year and my body hurt, and that is like the growing pains of the soul. And you truly are wanting to a deeper connection to God. But once the healing starts there, you're finding trust, acceptance, and you're diving deeper from your deepest of your heart. The core, everything in you is crying out for this now. And after that, it leads to the third stop. And this is the true crossing of the abyss. The first, let's say many do Abramelin, and they do it in order to connect to their demons, to command demons. And the only thing they connect to is either their ego manifested, or a lesser spirit, or something. And you can feel as one in a small way. already as a child, since you have that natural instinct that you love animals, you are connected to the trees and nature and so on. But this becomes as a much stronger, and it's different. But you need to go through the dissolution of ego. You need to break through yourself, since it's always yourself who is blocking things. And that needs also that you start to get deep faith and trust and love. And you start to understand that you don't know anything at all. And then we have the change that is so important to know with angels. They can't ever go against your free will. So when I receive these messages over and over again, I call to an angel, I don't feel anything, and now I'm going to start to work with demons, since at least they come as I call them. They haven't heard one word. They haven't read anything or understood it yet. Since your free will must be tested, you must know it in your heart. It isn't enough that you say things with your mouth. It's a beginning. But in order to receive gifts from God, it must come out of love, of heart. It must be, in talk of chakras, it must be the heart, throat, crown. It must come from high. It can't be solar plexus or below. It must go from everything is filtered through the love of God. So that's what they are telling, that calling an angel, you must be determined and you pretend that you are a priest and then you can call an angel. They are lying. You can call on demons that appear as angels of light that way, but a true angel, they answer for need, they answer for your true will, and if you have made the choice to go and you only want to use the angels, they know that. You can't lie to an angel, you can't lie to God, you can't keep on doing that. So always search for that motive. Before every ritual or every connection, ask yourself, does this come from my heart? Do I want to really help that person, or is it something that I want to say that I help them and it's for my ego? That is a very important question, especially in the beginning. And you will change every account. When you even call to an angel, it will change you slightly. But you must know that the angels will never interfere with your free will. And if you are fearing or are doubting if you should work with angels, the angels can't help you. You can't receive the healing, you can't receive the guidance if you are doubting and having questions. Oh, I belong to a different faith and we do things differently and angels don't belong to us. Then don't work with angels, since you won't have any success until you feel that call in your heart. So it is that, and that your heart and everything will deepen and open you up, and you will understand things in a different way and how it works for you. And that will bring you, the angels will be your teachers, they will be your mentors, they will do you and help you to help others. But they honor God. So you must also study and understand what they want you to do. An angel doesn't want you to steal or to kill somebody. An angel don't want you to destroy somebody's life just because you can. There are some things that you need to study. It isn't about a religion. This is about morality, what God is, what God says. And God is loving kindness, mercy, forgiveness, and compassion. And He is tolerant and patient, but He must rebuke you if you go off the wrong path. And that is just that you need to really call with a need and all your emotions. And if you fear the angels, then call on a saint or whatever is in your fate or that kind of thing. And ask and search and contemplate and pray and do whatever you thinks it might not be for you. But God don't be angry. He created angels. So don't ever be... It is just like the old book says, love is the chariot of the soul, and faith is the superior virtue of all. So everything that comes in the modern books, like visualizations of willpower, that has not so much to do with it. It comes from a higher perspective. And I hope this might guide you a little bit. Everybody can call and petition an angel without everything in the beginning, but when you truly want to connect and to experience a true angel, you work. And I know if you are truly wanting it, the angels might appear even at your first call. So it is so different for everyone. And some days I have my dark sides when, I don't care about angels, they don't help me, and I want to get famous and get wealthy and have money and a lot of girlfriends or something like that, and I get fed up and then I go on my rant. So that is that. But remember, every journey is different. Nobody walks in anybody's shoes. And we should inspire and learn from each other and try out with the angels as teachers. You will develop your own skills, your own rituals. You will learn to understand. I use any old manuscript there is. You can use a diary of a saint and suddenly understand what that saint was doing and so on. So there are so many different ways that things can happen for you. It is just finding what is the real true you. And that is something that keeps on evolving to the day we die. So what I'm saying today might not be right if I live, let's say, for 20 years more. Then I might have changed a lot, who knows. But we are all children and we are learning to crawl. Then we are learning to walk. And so on. So be patient. And trust me, the angels have seen every failure in every human being. And they know what you are going through. So when they say no, it's because it is that they care about you. And they also know what is going to happen to the future if they say yes. Since that might get you on the dangerous road and ego. So they stop you out of love. God gives you what you need, not what you want. Keep that in mind. I love you all. Bye for now.